He paid for first class, but they kicked him out because he was black. What they didn't know, he was the CEO funding their entire airline, and his next move cost them $120 million. They saw a black man and assumed he didn't belong. They humiliated him in front of everyone. But within 24 hours, their mistake triggered a $120 million fallout. This isn't just a story about racism. It's a lesson in power, silence, and consequences. Stay with us, because what happens next will leave you speechless. It started as just another flight. Ordinary passengers boarding, attendants smiling, and the buzz of a busy airport filling the air. But no one on board that aircraft could have predicted what would unfold just minutes after takeoff. What seemed like a routine seating mix-up would soon ignite a corporate firestorm and cost an airline a jaw-dropping $120 million. A man in a crisp, tailored suit walked confidently down the jet bridge, ticket in hand. He was calm, polite, and well-dressed, clearly a professional. His seat? 1A, first class. But as he approached, the flight attendant standing at the front raised her hand, blocking his path. "Excuse me, sir, this section is for first-class passengers only," she said, without even glancing at his boarding pass. He politely responded, "I believe this is my seat." She narrowed her eyes, barely hiding her doubt. "Can I see your ticket?" The man handed it over without hesitation. The attendant looked at it, hesitated, then forced a smile. "I'm sorry, there must be some confusion. This is probably a system glitch. Let me find you a seat in economy." Her tone wasn't just dismissive, it was condescending. The other first-class passengers watched, some chuckling, others shifting uncomfortably. A white passenger, who had just walked in behind the man, was greeted with a warm smile and guided to their seat without question. The black man stood quietly, face composed but eyes heavy with disappointment. He repeated, "That is my seat. I purchased it. Can I speak to the lead flight attendant, please?" Moments later, the lead arrived, offering apologies but suggesting, again, that there had been a mix-up. "We're happy to upgrade you on your next flight," she added, trying to soothe the situation. But the message was clear. He was not welcome in first class today. Rather than argue, the man simply asked for the names of the crew. He took his seat in economy without another word. But the silence that followed would not last long. What the staff didn't know was this man wasn't just any passenger. His name was Darius King, a powerful tech CEO, investor, and philanthropist. More importantly, he was also a key partner in a joint venture that had committed a $120 million investment into the very airline he'd just been humiliated on. Within hours of landing, phones started ringing at the airline's headquarters. Darius had called an emergency meeting with the board of directors. His voice was calm, but his message was sharp. He replayed the incident in full detail. He even showed them emails and security footage retrieved through airport contacts. He reminded them of the values they claimed to uphold: diversity, dignity, and professionalism. And then he dropped the bombshell. The $120 million investment was frozen indefinitely. It wasn't a threat, it was a decision. What happened next was swift and brutal. The incident went viral after a whistleblower posted a summary online. "Black CEO kicked out of first class so a white passenger could sit" became the headline plastered across social media. Outrage exploded. People were furious. Influencers, journalists, even politicians chimed in, demanding accountability. Within 48 hours, the airline's stock dropped 7%. Customers began canceling bookings. Boycotts were announced. And behind the scenes, executives were scrambling to do damage control. The CEO of the airline issued a public apology. But for many, it was too little, too late. The 2 flight attendants involved were suspended pending investigation. A third resigned voluntarily. And Darius? He remained calm throughout it all, refusing interviews and choosing to let the facts and the consequences speak for themselves. Some might wonder, why didn't he make a scene on the plane? Why didn't he shout or post immediately? Because power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, then pulls the plug. This wasn't just about a seat. It was about a system. A system that too often judges worth by skin color, not character. Darius King didn't just lose a seat, he was denied dignity. And in return, he denied the airline $120 million. Now, the company is reviewing its entire training program. New anti-discrimination policies are being drafted. But the stain of the incident remains. A powerful reminder that respect isn't optional, and every decision has consequences. In the end, it took just one moment of prejudice to spark a multi-million-dollar fallout. And while Darius may not have flown first class that day, he certainly walked away with something far more valuable: proof that quiet strength can shake an entire industry. Because sometimes the most powerful retaliation is simply walking away with your dignity intact and their empire shaken. One act of quiet discrimination led to a storm that shook an entire airline. Because in a world where appearances deceive and assumptions rule, the man you look down on today might be the one signing your paycheck tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful true stories that uncover the truth behind the headlines.